item on the agenda is to okay the minutes of the previous meeting. Is there any corrections or additions? Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
No additions or corrections? If not, everybody in present, please say aye.
Aye.
Minutes stand approved. First item on the agenda tonight. Excuse me. We have a public hearing tonight. I, Gerald Motter, Chairman of the Community Development Authority, notice of the hearing will now be read. The public hearing to consider the Community Development Authority of the City of West Dallas and the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD Section 8 House Choice Voucher HCV program seeking public commitment and consideration of changes to the Community Development Authority of the City of West Dallas. The Executive Director of the Community Development has filed with the authority the notice of a hearing. The affidavits of publication will be filed as soon as it is received from the official newspaper as required by U.S. Federal Code. This document will be made part of the records of the proceedings of this matter. Purpose of the hearing. The purpose of the hearing is to afford a full opportunity of all interested parties to express their views on the proposed consideration of the Community Development Authority and the City of West Dallas U.S. Housing and Urban Development HUD Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher HCV program seeking public comment and consideration of changes to the Community Development Authority of the City of West Dallas Annual Plan. B. Following the close of the hearing, the authority will consider a vote on resolution authorizing the Community Development Authority of the City of West Dallas U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher HCV program seeking public consent and consideration of change to the Community Development Authority of the City of West Dallas. If adopted, the resolution will be submitted to the Common Council of the City of West Dallas for approval as provided in U.S. Federal Code, U.S. Federal Code of the Wisconsin Statutes. And now I'll ask Mr. Slush, the Executive Director of the Authority, to designate or staff or make a brief presentation with respect to the proposed before the authority. Patrick?
Mr. Chairman, Danielle Caring. Go ahead.
Thank you, Daniel.
Sorry. Congratulations on our marriage.
Thank you.
We'll be doing the public hearing for Section 8 tonight.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. The areas that we'll be covering tonight of the update of the 2024 program administrative plan will be Chapter 1, the overview of the program and the plan. Chapter 5, covering briefings and voucher issuances. Chapter 8, housing quality standards and rent reasonable determinations. And Chapter 11, re-examinations. We first want to begin and set it up with our current policy, proposed changes, and anticipated outcomes. So we look at Chapter 1.3, Section D, updating and revising the plan. Our current plan is the PHA will review the plan as needed. What we are proposing is the PHA shall establish a resident advisory board facilitating collaboration of the annual plan and administrative plan. The RAB, or Resident Advisory Board, was actually established in May 2013. The outcome that we are anticipating is have shared participation in the administrative decisions and operations of the actual program. So that will be the actual change. Chapter 5, Section 2, E, voucher terms and extension. Our current policy is that the initial term of a voucher must be 60 days and extension communication will be sent via encrypted email. What we are proposing for the 2024 administrative plan is the initial term of a voucher must be at least 90 days instead of that 60. All extensions request notifications will be sent via Assistant Check, a system that we use to communicate directly with tenants or program participants. The outcome that we want with this change policy or proposed change policy is providing program participants more search time initially to reduce the administrative burden to staff during that extension review and approval time. Our next section is Chapter 8, Section 2A, Housing Quality Standards and Rent Reasonable Determinations. Currently, our policy is that housing quality standards, or HQS inspections, are conducted by the PHA staff, which are HUD certified, which they need to be HUD certified in order to conduct these inspections. What we are proposing, the PHA elects the option to outsource HQS inspections by a third-party entity under contract with the PHA, both in HQS and Inspire, which is going to go into effect actually October 1st, 2024 for Inspire. Violations identified will be sent to the owner via assistance check or the third-party inspection entity. The outcome of why we decided that this would be a good process for the PHA to move forward is to meet the increasing demand for high-quality inspections in the Housing Choice Voucher Program and staff on saving that administrative time. Just to have some data where we're looking at those current policies and proposed changes, if we look at our last year of 2022, from January 1st to December 31st, we had a grand total of about 500 inspections, that 505 inspections were done. About out of 25% of that, we see inspections have that overall fail, and there could be fail for different reasons. It may be the landlord, areas that they need to correct. It may be something 24 hours. It may be something 30 days where the PHA starts that administrative cycle to get those changes, because it's all about having safe and quality housing to actually live in. Moving on to Section 8.2A, Housing Quality Standards and Rent Reasonable Determinations. Our current policy is that oh, that's a repeat of the slide. Excuse me, I just saw the slide this evening. Excuse me. So I just wanted to have some data points for you to be able to look at what those pass and fails in the other situations of why a unit may fail and the administrative time to go ahead and get them passed to get families moved in.
Danielle, you should have just kept reading that slide and see if we would have noticed.
Thank you so much. Moving on to our last area, Chapter 11.1b, Streamline Annual Reexaminations. Our current policy is that HUD permits streamlined income determinations for fixed income households vary by the cost of living adjustment, which is COLA, which fluctuates every year, which usually goes for inflation and goes up each year to meet those inflation demands of those on fixed incomes. What we are proposing is that senior households that are deemed 62 or older, reexaminations will be conducted biannually and all other years streamlined. And what that streamline means is that we're using those COLA determinations to determine what their income is doesn't change or fluctuate that much. So doing those actual reexaminations biannually instead of every single year, which will reduce in that staff time. And the outcome is households on fixed income and non-streamlined reexaminations will be biannually to reduce that administrative burden that staff has to go through each case. We totally have about 510 households that are now under HUD HAP contracts. So we want to be able to remain compliant with the program, but also give that opportunity to administrative staff burden and reduce that burden on households that are 62 and older to keep constantly going through that annual reexamination process when we know what their actual income is going to be. Chapter 11, verse 2A, interim reexaminations. Currently what our policy is that families must report all income change to the PHA within 10 business days. The PHA then conducts an interim re-exam to recalculate rent and their subsidy payments. What we are proposing is that families, when their family's income decrease, an interim re-examination will be conducted within 10 business days reporting income. Income increases, however, will be done at the next re-examination. And the purpose, once again, is the reduction of administrative burden while remaining program compliant. So those were our areas that we are highlighting of those proposed changes for the administrative plan for 2024 thus far. Do we have any questions? Yes.
Danielle, on the outsourcing of inspections, what will that cost?
Well, the average cost we're looking at per inspection will run us about annually $35,000 per year for that first year. And it breaks down into initial inspections, biannual inspections, re-inspections. Re-inspections may be if a landlord is not there, no one is there to greet, or if it's something emergency where we have 24 hours or deemed that it has to be fixed, or whether it's 30 days. So it's by actual inspection of costs. But to answer your question, about $35,000 per year in that first year.
And who pays for that?
Those monies actually come out our administrative fees for the Housing Choice Voucher Program. So we have calculated with finance that we can afford it, if we can say.
Yes.
And who selects the inspection organization?
So what we did is put out an RFP, request for proposals, where we received two actually through the city of West Dallas. We received one from McCrite and Associates, which they gave us a standard package of what those inspections would look like: initial inspections, re-inspections, the communication, the integration of data with our current management information system for the housing program, how it will be able to communicate that information, how they make the calls, how they send the letters, how that data is coming back to our systems in real time, where we can get that information out to those households and landlords via assistance check.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions?
Thank you. Then I'll proceed with our first step here. Any interested parties in attendance may now express their views on the proposed Community Development Authority of the City of West Dallas for U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD Section 8, Housing Choice Voucher HCV program seeking public commitment and consideration of change to the Community Development Authority of the City of West Dallas annual plan. Upon being recognized, please state your name, your address, and interest in this proposal. Then you may proceed with your statement. If you appear on behalf of an interested party, please state the name of the party you represent. Does anyone wish to be recognized at this time? Okay. If not, there being no parties wishing to be recognized at this address authority, I declare this closed and will now proceed with the next order of business. Which will go to item 2. Resolution to approve the amendment of the Section 8 Choice Voucher Annual Plan and Administrative Plan for operational year of 2024.
I move approval.
Second?
Been moved for approval, second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Plan approved.
Mr. Chair, I just want to add
go ahead.
one thing is that, as Danielle laid out here, HUD is really pushing us to increase our success rate with getting leases signed within typically it's been 60 days. We're going to give them 90 days to reduce the staff burden, but it's our charge to increase our utilization of the available vouchers, and in return, we do receive a fee back for every successful voucher that is leased. We receive a fee in return, which helps us pay for this program. So we're really looking to save some staff time as part of outsourcing our inspections. And as a result, we think we can turn around and increase our success rate and increase utilization as best possible for HUD's directive. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Clark.
Steve, as we save some staff time, what are we giving up?
Well, I mean, we wouldn't necessarily need to be going to every inspection out there. I mean, we could certainly pay a visit to certain new landlords and help introduce them to the program and so on. And we could do that outside of the inspection realm. We're really trying to increase our landlord and promote more landlords getting involved in this program. But as far as giving up, I don't think we're giving up. I think we're gaining a very professional company that's going to fulfill, our inspection need to the federal standard under Inspire, and as a result, save us staff time. Those 505 inspections that were done annually turn into 704 after re-inspections and failures and people not showing up for their appointments. So it really is it can be quite a bit labor intensive. As a result, though, we think we're going to put more people that were otherwise doing inspections and out running around town, different parts of Milwaukee County, and we can utilize their time a little bit better in-house, helping people understand the program, use it efficiently, and increase our utilization.
Thank you. Any further questions? All right, then we'll go to,
Did we do item 1 on approval of last month's minutes? Or, oh,
You voted yes.
okay. Okay, we'll go to item 4. Discuss regarding the Community Development Authority owned property located at 6771 West National. Patrick? Oh, I'm sorry. You're totally welcome to stay if you want.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Danielle. Well, thank you for the presentation. It was very nice.
Thank you.
Just a brief update in open session on the project. We'll mostly talk about it in closed session, but as you recall, at the last meeting, we brought a land sale and purchase and sale agreement to the CDA, which they held. We have some developments, some interesting developments with the developer that have taken place since that time. It's mostly for closed session discussion due to the nature of the confidentiality of the tenant and such. But as you recall, it's a $16 million historic rehabilitation of the 48,000 square foot former Kearney Trekker building. CDA would build out 130 parking stalls for the tenant to occupy the space, which would be half be used as event space and office, as well as office and some storage space. And the additional ask is that the city CDA would pay for the any environmental costs associated with the project. It's just a view of sort of the advantages, some of the good things of the project, the taxable value, jobs, and things of that nature. That's not what that's supposed to look like. This is, we've since also we've hired Ayers and Associates to put together a parking lot plan for the 1.5 acre parcel adjacent to this building. What Ayers has done is really sized it out for 155 parking stalls. You can see that northern row of which could potentially be shared with OPE or other users in the area and such. So this was important for us to understand for the tenant and for parking sharing purposes, what we can get out of it. This shows some landscaped areas, some stormwater. It's not to say that this takes care of all the stormwater for the site. This is just a very basic concept up front. Ayers would be taking the parking lot design all the way to the contract phase of it. So just wanted to give a brief update on that, and the rest we would discuss in closed session.
You want to go through all of these, or you just want to go into closed session now? And the next ones are,
I think the next one we have all in open, correct?
all right.
So, go ahead.
Okay, item 5, discussion regarding proposed locations. The property is located within the Sona redevelopment area, located on the southwest corner of 66th Street and West National Avenue. Patrick?
Mr. Chairman, if you remember the layout here of the landmass that's south of National, this was Hall Steel, it was a junkyard and multiple different type of bars, etc. when we started this project back in, I think we acquired land around 2001 and thereafter. And this lot 4 is the last parcel. We have Makers Rose under construction. You can see it just to the west of the farmers market. Sona apartments are full, and this is the proposal that Mandel is proposing on lot 4. It's around 51 units, 48 apartments, 33 townhomes, walkout townhomes along their private drive. So this is, when you're looking at this is kind of looking northwest at the property from Mitchell Avenue. So, this is most likely around a $15 million project. We haven't gotten into the math yet, but this is on Plan Commission here in October. They're going for their conditional use, and then they'll probably sit down and want to talk the economics, but very similar to the one on 70th and Washington. But overall, it fits in nice with the overall vision of what we, as the CDA, set out to do for this area. So here's some extra additional pictures. I don't have any comments or thoughts. It's probably, like I said, 15, probably around almost 10 million accessible or assessed. So that's a nice addition to the area as well.
Yeah, and just to draw everyone's attention, Patrick, I think we had mentioned before how the red on the bottom, those are walkout units or
Yes.
bungalow units. And
Correct.
the bottom, which are more popular, more in demand. Yeah, I think that's neat.
And then the one thing to notice, if you look at what's on the left, a lot of these apartments that we've done have underground parking. This is parking on grade. So the building is built around the parking. You don't, so it's on the first floor. You're not going down into a lower level. That should save on some costs in terms of the construction. So, but it will have internal parking, but it's just not going below grade. Don't they have anything else? I just thought that we should highlight that.
Any other questions regarding it? Otherwise, we'll go to item number 5.
6.
Or 6, excuse me. Thank you. Discussion regarding the Alice Yards redevelopment located within the South 70th Street and West Greenfield Avenue corridor. Patrick?
This is another project that we brought to your attention, and I think happened really quick. It's gone through Plan Commission. I received approval from Plan Commission on the 27th. It's a 246-unit apartment development on 70th and Washington on Alice Yards. What we're currently doing is reviewing the current development agreement that's in place. We're going to have to renegotiate one development agreement and negotiate a new development agreement. So that's going to be kind of an interesting endeavor on this project. We have not gotten into the economics on this project yet. We think it's in the realm of around $70 million of a development cost, probably close to $50 million assessed. So you can see some of the images, high quality materials, highly as rooftop patios and a pool, and I think they're even adding a golf simulator or something. Nice amenities to the apartment complex, but with a unique walkthrough through the property. Next one we'll talk about in closed session. I think we have.
There's 2 buildings there.
Correct.
Is that together, or is the first one and then the second one later?
So this is the first phase.
The first building that close to 70th?
Yes. The second phase
Would be the other
is the developer will get an option on that landmass. And then, the parking, that surface parking there is something that'll have to be,
I
reviewed.
understand.
It's currently leased by Summit Place to 2026. What happens from there, I don't know. The office market is evolving, as we've seen, so that's used. But some of the other parking lots around there are underutilized at the
Yes,
current
I
time.
understand
So
that. Okay, so basically we're talking about the front.
just the front
first.
building.
Okay, that's what I was curious about.
The numbers would be much higher if we had it in the second phase.
Yeah, I understand, that's why I asked. All right, we'll go to item number 8, consider relative to report on redevelopment initiatives. Patrick, you have the floor.
I think you skipped 7, but the 7 we can discuss in closed session. And then 8, the only thing I wanted to highlight on 8 was, you might have saw this on the Business Journal today. This is the Crawdaddy's block, as well as the Spot block that we own, and they're working on marketing their development right now. We have some comments on the rendering. We just got the rendering, was it last night? We got the night one this morning. So as planning, we haven't provided any feedback. This is just what they use to market, announce that they're looking to develop that site. So it's a good start, but a little bit more work needs to be done architecturally. So but I just thought we'd share that's been that they announced that, and overall it's a pretty good vision. So, any thoughts, comments? No?
Yeah, looks good.
Keep going, right?
That's great. Yeah, more of it.
Yes.
I'd like to see it up.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions for Patrick from all the other items on that item 8 there?
I don't have any other comments on anything else. So.
You're getting off easy tonight. All right. Then we'll go into closed session. For agenda items 4 to 7, the committee convened in closed session pertinent to the provisions of section 19.85/1/E for the state statutes for the purpose of delivering and investing public funds whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. The committee may convene in open sessions after completion of the closed session to consider the balance of this agenda. Can I have a motion to go into closed session, please?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved in second. We take roll call, please.